welcome back to another anime review. We are reviewing an anime called The Unwanted Undead Adventurer. Now this anime is kind of unique and kind of interesting. So our main character is a bronze adventurer. It's the second lowest one. The lowest one is iron, which is kind of interesting because the ranking system in this anime is kind of different from most fantasy world ranking animes because it's usually like A, B, C, D, S rank, triple S rank, and stuff like that. But this anime does not do that. This anime has platinum rank, gold rank, but the highest is mithril rank, which is kind of unique to be honest with you. They don't usually do that at all, and that's the interesting concept of it. Now he's trying to level up his rank, so he explores this labyrinth that he knows really well. Problem is, there's a new untapped potentials. Pretty much, there's a hole in the labyrinth, and he decides to go into that hole in that labyrinth. So yeah, but the problem with that concept is the fact that he goes into this unexplored place in the dungeon, and then he gets his ass killed by a dragon, even though it doesn't even look like a fucking dragon, because the mouth does not look like a dragon. The dragon, he eats him, I think, or he kills him at least. He turns into one of the skeletons, which the first enemy that he kills is a skeleton. So skeletons are the weakest one. There are slimes, but they're not a lot, and they only show up in the beginning part of the anime. So our main character is trying to beat up these skeletons, and then he turns himself into a ghoul. Well, the ghoul can actually talk, but he has to teach himself how to talk again. And this is just the first couple episodes. He meets another adventurer, talks to her, and tells her to help her out, and she does help her out. She does help him out, and then that's where I have a problem with it, because then he decides to. When he gets back into town, he decides to hang out with his best friend, well, sort of. She is his main person. She helps him out. She also does experiments on him, and she also has a major crush on him, which is kind of obvious. But the thing about her is the fact that she wants to know why he can still talk. He has still all his emotions, everything is perfectly fine. Because usually when you get killed and get turned into a monster, you lose all your memories, but this guy, the main character, still has all his memories and this, that, and the other thing. So the main reason why I have a problem with it, though, is the fact that the character that helps him out get out of the dungeon, because she buys him fucking clothes and stuff, you don't see her until the last episode, and she does not interact with the main character at all throughout the whole entire anime series. Once she's gone, you won't see her until she's at the very end, and she's only interacting with the two other adventurers that he helped out with the bronze exam, which is because he has to restart his exam again because of the fact that he's a new person, because they don't want him to be a zombie and stuff and like kill people and stuff. So yeah, so that's pretty much about it. Now the girl that helps him out a lot actually tries to encourages him and stuff like that, and she also wants to help him out. Now when it comes to the receptionist guild misses the guy because he can't tell them that he is Rent, because they want to know what the fuck happened to him, and he's afraid that they're gonna kill him because he's technically a monster at this point. So pretty much, so to speak. So he decides to go by a different name, and he takes his best friend's last name, which I think was pretty fucking funny. Now the monsters that because he can evolve into a better monster because of that reason. So the first couple episodes, he is a skeleton. He's just bones. Then he turns into a ghoul by killing some skeletons and slimes, pretty much, so to speak. Once he saves his friend and once he gets saved by the adventurer that is a rookie, and she does not appear at all until the very end. He gets turned into a gas, which the only reason why he gets turned into a gas is because he's hungry for blood, because he wants blood. So he bites her neck so he can eat the blood, drink the blood, and stuff like that. So he's a gas now, which I have no idea what the fuck that is, but apparently it's a higher ranking than Ghoul and stuff, but whatever. Anyway, because of that reason though, he can tame monsters, which is interesting, so to speak. So he decides to help out this orphanage, which has a rat problem. The problem is the rat, the head honcho rat actually has an intelligence, which he knows what to do. He's a monster, so to speak. It's a rat that's bigger. The problem is, though, he decides to tame the rat by pure accident because the rat bites him, and then he decides, and now the rat's in control. He controls the rat now because he's technically not a fucking human. He's a fucking a zombie, so to speak. So, because the gas part, he now has a rat familiar. Apparently, I don't know why the fuck, which is kind of unique and kind of interesting because usually monsters has these cute. Usually when people have familiar monsters, there's usually something cute, like a red dog or something like this cute dog, like this, that, and the other thing, or a cute, like something cute and stuff. No, it's just a fucking rat, which I thought that was fucking funny. So at the very end, though, and the end of the first season, because this is very recently new, so there might be another season coming in the works. He turns into a fucking vampire. Apparently, he has wings and stuff. He can shrink the wings, which is a good thing. And he wants to move out. His best friend is gonna help him out, though. Now, when it comes to the problems with these enemies, I did not like that since it's his adventure, most of the characters are only there for the plot that he's going into, which is which is a positive and a negative type of stuff. It's positive because at least you can understand where he's going and what he's going to do. And he has a lot of character development with the characters that he's interacted with during that section of the anime. The problem is the fact that the characters that he helps out with, they don't. The problem with that is the fact that they don't have enough screen time to get their characters developed long enough. Like for example, the first character. She's a knight, but after the first episode, she tells him that after the second episode, she tells him that he's the knight. She's a knight, and then she's gone for the rest of the fucking series until the very end of the episode, and that was just what the characters do when he's off on doing his own, turning into a vampire and stuff, and that's the main problem I have with it. Okay, she's only there for one thing. Also, the characters that help him out with the bronze exam. Those two characters only do that part, and then they're gone for the rest of the series. It happens every time. The only characters that actually show up on every single episode is the receptionist, which she is the receptionist of the adventurer, which is perfectly normal and fine. But she also misses the original Rent. Rent is the main character. He has to go by Rent. He has to use his best friend's last name because he has to re-register because they don't want him to. He doesn't want to reveal that he is the same person because he looks like a fucking dead zombie. Which they don't want to purify him, and then he's gone forever. So yeah, holy magic's the only thing that could probably fucking kill him. But he ends up turning into a vampire, so that's a good thing. Then you also got the people at the fucking Labyrinth Mage, which they're only there for like 2 episodes and then they're gone. Like, well, technically 1. I mean, the main character that owns the freaking mansion, she has more power than she lets on. But the problem is that they don't really explain how she gets that power, and the main character doesn't really acknowledge that. And I think that's a bad thing because of the fact that even though he doesn't acknowledge that she did the one, because he's fighting against a rock golem and she's the one who stopped it, but he doesn't question why she did that. Like, because he was trying to find the book and she never read the book or the item that she has, and that's my main problem. Because he actually he actually tries to explain everything on what the other three characters, like when he does the bronze exam, he explains to the two adventurers that's in his party what to do and what not to do, and he explicitly tells them to rewire their brain, like you need to be on the survival instinct. That's the main point of the anime. But when it comes to her, she does not he does not do that with her, even though she's more stronger than she lets on. But he's too oblivious to realize that, which is kind of not his character development, and that's what my main problem is. So, because of that reason, I'm gonna give this anime a 6 out of 10. The only reason why it gets a 6 out of 10, it did give me goosebumps when it comes to the music of the anime, because it's perfect on the soundtrack. I'll tell you that much. Like, there's not a lot of music in this anime that kind of catches my eye, but when they have suspenseful music, you know shit's going down, and they do it perfectly. So I give it that. Theme song's okay. I jammed to it at least a couple times before I just started skipping it, but I'm giving this anime a 6 out of 10. What are your thoughts on this anime? Should I get a second season? I think it should, because it leaves it on a cliffhanger, because he's going to try to find the fucking mithril adventurer that told him to do this stuff in the first fucking place, even though his little friend died at the very end. So, I hope you guys have a nice positive day, and always stay positive.